Hi, this is Mike with AskTractorMike.com. I'm going to talk today about the dangers of tethering and gravity. And what I mean by tethering is if you take your tractor and hook it to an object that has a lot of weight, that has a potential to pull your tractor or push your tractor where you don't want to go, you could get in a real dangerous situation. I have 3 stories to tell you today. All of them turned out good. All of them had potential to cause a little bit of a minor disaster if they had not turned out well. Story number 1. I live at the end of a long driveway. I live at the back of a 20-acre section of land, and we have a nice gentle slope to get down our hill and a really steep slope to come up our hill. And at the bottom of the hill from where I'm standing right now down the driveway is probably between 25 and 30 feet. Pretty sharp drop. Well, a couple of weeks ago we had a snow and traction was fine. We had a little snow, but then about the 3rd day it melted off a little bit and then it froze hard, and the next morning was the worst road conditions we'd had. And basically what we had was the melted snow frozen into ice with a little skiff of snow on top of it. So it didn't look bad, but it was awful, and it didn't last very long. Well, what happened, the UPS man, United Parcel Service man, had a delivery. He came down my long driveway, came up the driveway here, and got as far as my pickup truck is behind me here when it got really steep and his back wheels started spinning. So he brought me the package and I came out to see if I could help. And he said, "Do you have a tractor to hook onto my truck?" Well, I said, I have a tractor. It's not a very big tractor, and I'm a little bit worried what would happen if I'd hook on your truck. I always think in a situation like this, what's the worst that could happen? Well, the worst that could happen here is I hook on his truck, and because this is about solid ice right here, the weight of that UPS truck goes off down that hill and pulls me on the tractor with it. And I don't know where I would have ended up, and I don't know how I would have stopped. Ice and 4-wheel drive don't mix. Even though you've got 4-wheel drive, if you get on icy conditions, your tires can all 4 be spinning and you can be sliding. And all that weight of the UPS truck, and as he was trying to move forward, he got in his truck and tried to move forward, and it started moving backwards with the back wheel spinning, and it started going sideways down the hill. Now I'm going to show you right now how we got him out. We ended up backing him back up to my fence and having him move forward and back and forward, and he finally got turned around and headed out and had no problem getting out from that point. But I thought at that time this would be a good time to do a video. If you have a new tractor and your instinct is, I want to help this guy out and I want to show and experience the joy of tractor ownership, if you hook a chain onto a UPS truck with all that weight and ice, it could drag you right down the hill and you could be into the UPS truck and out of control, tipped over. Lots of bad things could happen. Well, I want to tell you another story. A couple of days later, another UPS driver came out to make another delivery, and I was telling him about the situation. He said, I had a worse situation. He said, I was at a customer's house making a delivery, and I got out of control, barely got the truck stopped, and there was a 60-foot drop behind me. That's a long drop. That's a cliff. And he said, luckily I had a farmer come along with a tractor that pulled me out. I was thinking, oh my goodness, what would happen if the UPS guy went off the 60-foot bluff? I don't care how big the tractor is on ice, it's going to go off with him. And you're probably going to have 2 fatalities. So they avoided a really bad situation. The worst one I ever heard, though, and this story kind of came out funny, although it wasn't at the time. Heston Corporation came out with the big square balers. If you go out west, you see a lot of people that bale these big square bales. And when they were doing the first product trials with these bales, they took a big baler out to a good friend of mine's territory out in Colorado. He worked for the company, and they were in Colorado, and they were baling up on what I think they call a mesa. It's a high, flat area, and it's above a valley, and then it drops off sharply to the valley. Well, the calling card of the Heston baler is they put a lot of hay in a bale and put a lot more weight on a trailer truck to haul it. And nobody really knew how much weight they were putting in these bales. Well, what they'd always done before was bale this mesa with a small square baler, and then put all those bales on a flatbed trailer and a small tractor in front of it and haul it down to the valley, and there was no problem. But this time they were baling these big square bales. Well, they baled bale after bale, and they loaded them on the flatbed trailer, and they got ready to go down the hill to the valley, and in front of it was a John Deere B tricycle front tractor. Well, my buddy was a territory manager, and he was a young guy, and as you did back in those days, bad idea, but we all did it, jumped up on top of the load of hay, and the farmer was carrying the hay down the steep hill to the valley. And you can guess what happened. They had more weight than the tractor could stop, and all of a sudden gravity took over and down the hill they went. And I guess when they got to the bottom of the hill, they were doing somewhere between 45 and 80 miles an hour, depending on who you listen to tell the story. And the farmer was white as a sheet, his eyes were bugged out, and my buddy on the back of the tractor was, or back of the load of hay was pretty scared too. They never did that again. Long story to tell you, always think about if you're doing a hay ride, if you're pulling a load of stuff, if you're trying to pull somebody out, what would happen if we would lose traction and this weight would pull me? You can get us some real trouble on a tractor, and you want to avoid that at all costs. It's not worth your life to pull somebody out. I survive on web traffic. I'd be honored if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page and share this video with other tractor enthusiasts. If you have questions or comments, put them down below. I'll try to answer them. Thanks for watching.